Okay, so today let's talk about the why we want to do multiple pours instead of the two pour method. Like, for example, what Lance has helped to introduce. Of course, I'm just trying to say that I'm not saying that it's a bad method or it's definitely useful, and it's very easy for beginners to dial in their coffee. So I've been having a lot of problems with my filters recently, or more than recently, it's a few months, and I couldn't understand why I'm only getting like I don't know 14 or 15% yield, and yeah, everything was very watered down and terrible until I realized that I'm having too much bypass, which means I'm keeping the water volume high, and the the coffee bed is not flowing through fast enough, and as a result, a lot of bypass goes through, diluting the coffee, causing this problem with the TDS and also the yield. So the at sorry especially when I'm not too sure in Singapore, or some of the beans, our local roasters in Singapore tend to roast, especially for filters, most of the filters a bit more lighter, and so they are, first of all, there's a lot of fines depending on which grinder you use. I'm using an old Gen 2 standard brew at the moment, Gen 2 grinder, and I find that I have to put it below 5 to it still have a lot of fines, but below 5 the flow is slightly more consistent. If I put it to a coarser grind like 7, it definitely it chokes even more faster, much more faster, even though it's at a coarser grind. So and what I have been doing was that whether I'm doing a fine grind setting or a coarse grind setting, I'll do 2 pours to try to find the grind size, and none of those pours give me more than 14% yield. And that was like I was scratching my head until I start looking at the side of the glass, and I realized the water are all bypassing the bed, because obviously it's not moving through the bed, it has to move sides. So I would have to say that for V60, that's what makes it so difficult. Okay, this is, by the way, these are beans from Zara Coffee. I love I like their roasting and their beans and their coffee. This is in Ethiopia. Okay, it's a washed Ethiopian, and it's been, yeah. Sorry, back to this. So I realized that when doing V60, any filter with bypass that is possible with water bypass, it's really a matter of the ratio between the amount of bypass you want to allow compared to the amount of water that goes through the bed. So obviously, the more bypass, the more dilute it gets, right? And but that's really a balance between that two. Okay, so for this one, I'm doing 13 grams in, and I'm attempting to do 220 grams out. I did 200 grams out last time, and I got about 19%, which is quite good, but I thought that I want to open up the flavors a bit this time, so I'm doing 220 out. My water temperature is at 95, and my oat grinder here is at 4.2, which is the second smallest minor scale. So as you know, I've checked most of the comments on the internet, it's like between 5 or 6. And if you look at what Lance, sometimes occasionally catch a glimpse of what he put, it's around 7. I guess really this one depends on bean to bean. So I'm talking specifically to this type of beans, which tends to have more fines after grinding, and you can't really do a 2 pour method. Okay, let's go. I'm lazy. Please wash. Please wash the filter. I'm just being lazy. I found that I don't really I'm not really particularly irritated by the any extra taste of paper. So yeah, I'm fine with this. So don't follow me for this, at least for this aspect. So I'm breaking this up into a pot of 50 each time, and I'm watching the water flow. I want to make sure that the water flows through before I pour the next, or at least there's only a low water bed right before I attempt the next pour. Okay, 95 degrees. First pour, just a blooming 50 grams. This is about 30 seconds generally. I'll tune in between 30 to 45, depending of how I think the end will finish. If the end I think is finished slower, if I think the end finished too fast, I'll probably pull this, wait for 45 seconds. And I'm trying to keep it slow, so I don't try to disturb the bed too much, so that I don't see too much fines migration. And I'm trying to pour slow so that I can keep the bypass as less as possible, making sure all the water goes through the coffee bed. Okay, that's the second pour. Now we are at 100. I'll wait until, yeah, about 1 minute 20 seconds. That's my next pour. Okay, I think I'll stop here at 30 grams first, let it goes through. Because if I'm gonna pour more, I'm gonna see more bypass. Okay, another 20 grams. I don't think you want to do this in the cafe for sure. This is way too slow. In a cafe, you probably have better grinders or other ways of dealing with this. But as a home barista, we got more than enough time. As you can, I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah, you can hear that it's already slowing down. This can take up to 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, this 220. Okay, this will be my one more pour. Okay, this time round, I'll push it to 50 first. Yeah, done 50. By the time the third pour, in general, I find that the flavors are already, most of the coffee flavors are already out of the coffee, and it's after 2 minutes. So I think having more bypass, okay, you can see having more bypass shouldn't matter. Shouldn't impact your extraction, because the flavors or whatever else is being extracted is not much left by then. But I'll still wait for the coffee bed to go lower before I do my last 20 grams pour. So I think it's very dynamic the way I pour is. It can't be fixed because, okay, it's fixed if the grind size is the same, but if it's a different grind size, I may have to change my pour. But generally try to do about 50, 50, 50, 50 and wait for the coffee bed to go down. But sometimes like this, by the third pour, coffee bed generally get jammed up. I mean, the fines, migrates all the way down to the filter paper, and flows become very slow. And you really can't afford to wait until it goes all the way down, because then you have to 6-7 minutes pour, right? But anyway, that's my last pour I've done, 220. Now I'm just wait for it to drain off. I've stirring it definitely. I tried before stirring it or one of those things. It definitely clogs up even faster, right? The fine just or goes. I guess the fines are heavier. I'm not too sure. Yeah, it just goes down to the filter paper and choke it up very fast. Okay, we're done. Yeah, it's 5:30. Okay, you can see pretty nice coffee bed, flat. You can, yeah. Oh, sorry, where's my cup? This is a wonderful cup from Origami. I really love this for filters. Okay, 178 divided by 13. Okay, let's test this out. Yeah, I know temperature is very high now, but according to Atago, this device, it will compensate a bit for temperature drift. Compensate the drift for what? Yeah, it'll compensate for the temperature change, the differences. But I think it's generally quite accurate. But I didn't really do any scientific experiments on it to confirm this. But yeah, it's just in their literature. Okay, 1 for 1. So you can see it's 19.3%. So yeah, I think you or TDS. Besides the point, more importantly is the taste. Let's aroma wise, this one tends to give out more orange kind of aroma notes. There's a bit of floral, jasmine, but I think the orange is more overpowering. And it's not a very sweet. It's not a particularly sweet bean or brew, but just good enough. So I would say the sweetness would be medium. Acidity is medium. Very nice orangey notes at the front and the middle. Okay. Yeah, the orange taste is from front to back and just disappears at the end. At the end, you will get some light floral notes of jasmines, but this is quite light. Okay, you really have to find it. But I guess this is hot. Hot, it should be more florals anyway. Let me do one more. It's quite nice. It's quite a nice drink, and yeah, basically, and I've seen cafes using up to, I think the setting of 3 for their filters using oat. Anyway, my SSPs is coming in, and probably want to try it and see what's the difference. I think the setting will be the same, and I've not taken out the ball bearing to make it infinite. I'm just keeping it there first. But I think the taste note will be, I think, more clearer. I'm not too sure. I'll when I get it out, I'll know. So it's a very light orange juice kind of notes. Yeah, it's quick finish, but has a lingering floral. Actually, it's quite bright also. Yeah, has a lingering floral notes there, but it also disappears quite fast, the jasmines. Yeah. So yeah, there you have it. This is my multi-pour technique for beans that has a lot of fines. And yeah, okay, thank you for listening.